Hello everybody, my name is Shade and welcome back to Dark Souls 2. Today's episode is going to consist of me running around the world, doing things either I've forgotten to do or skipped over with the intent to come back and do later. So yeah, that is why we were in Things Betwixt, which is the very first area of the game. A couple of things are different about this episode, and the main thing being that I'm doing the commentary in post. I'm watching back the video and talking over it. Which, the reason I'm doing that is the second thing that's weird about this video, which is the clips of video are going to be out of order. The reason for all of this is because after I recorded this video, I was watching it back and I realized that the order in which I did things made no sense whatsoever. I started in Majula, then went to Things Betwixt, then went back to Majula, then went to the forest, and it was just kind of a mess. So, yeah. The first thing that we're doing here is killing this ogre in Things Betwixt, where before, in the first episode, I saw the footprints and was like, haha, no. So yeah, the reason you want to kill this guy is he drops a ring that is rather useful, in my opinion. As a melee character, I tend to use it if I have room. The best way to fight these guys is to just bait their attack there and wait for them to fall down, then go in and take a couple of hits. They also have a couple of other attacks, one where they will slam down on the ground with both their hands in front of them, like that. And a third one where they will grab you, which is unblockable, like that. This guy's just complying to what I want to talk about. He's great. But that grab attack, you really want to watch out for that one because it is unblockable, and if he grabs you, he will pick you up and eat your face off, which is no fun. So yeah, be careful fighting this guy, but it is worth it to do so. Oh, I'm stuck in the corner. There we go. And he is down. Alright, so here we have the stone ring, which what the stone ring does is it increases your poise damage. As I understand it, poise in this game works in that you have a value in your stats that determines your poise, and the poise determines whether you will stagger when somebody hits you, and if the person attacking you has a stat that is poise damage, and if their poise damage surpasses your poise defense or whatever, it will stagger you. So the stone ring gives you a higher chance to stagger an opponent, which I have found to be very useful. Okay, the obvious way to get back to the hut would be to drop down this ledge here, but if you turn back and go into the river and follow it down to the end, you can drop down and pick up an item, so I would recommend doing that. Got this waterfall here, and if you just drop down, there's a ledge right below it. And there we go. And we've got a corpse with an item on it. It is a small, smooth, and silky stone. I know a couple of crows that are a fan of smooth and silky items, so that is the item. Well, the item type. There's a couple of different smooth and silky items that you can trade with Dinah and Tio back in the other area in Things Betwixt. So yeah. Alright, I chose to speed up this clip because what I'm doing is heading back over towards the beach to kill the two ogres, and a lot of this clip is just me poking from inside the tree, and it's really boring, so we are in double time here. Just come down here and get these two guys' attention, and yep, I got him. Confirmed. Come on in here, be aware of the guy with the arrows, I forgot about him. There we go. Get the one on the ground because he will climb up the ladder and come after you. And now it is a lot of poking these guys and running away. I did not do this very efficiently at all. I actually had some throwing knives on me at this point, which I realized towards the end of this fight, and I do end up using them and it's good, but it took me a long time to remember that I had throwing knives. This episode is probably going to upload to YouTube a lot later than I usually do. The reason for that is I had to take my cat to the vet today. It got bitten by another cat and it's all infected and gross, so we had to go get some antibiotics. Yep, just running out and attacking, getting just about killed there by these guys. They are not hard to deal with when there's one. The problem is every time I attack, the second guy is reaching through his friend and beating me up. Like that. So, no good. No good at all. And I keep falling off this ledge. If I could not fall off the ledge, life would be great. Alright, I've just about got this guy down, and once you kill one of them, this fight gets a lot easier. So, alright, there we go. Now I think is about the time, maybe I'll take a couple more tries at attacking, that I remember that I have throwing knives. Oh yeah! And I really should have just been using these from the start. They make this so much easier. Just get him all stuck in his belly there. And he's dead. Alright. Showing off my happiness at defeating that guy with a war cry really quickly there. And now we can claim the reward, which is, if you run down onto the beach, access to the sex change coffin. I have no idea why this is in the game, but basically, you hop in the coffin, your man will become a woman, or vice versa. Alright, next thing to do in Things Betwixt is to climb up this ladder here to talk to the crows. I guess I assume they're crows. You never actually see them, but because it's been crows in every game leading up to this, that's why I assume they're crows. There they are.
Give us smooth. Yes, you! Give us silky!
Alright, I've got some smooth and silky for you girls. Maybe, if I'll open my menu. I think I was talking about something here, but I don't remember what. Alright, going into the inventory, I have one small smooth and silky stone. And what you want to do with this is you want to leave it on the ground. You don't want to discard it, that'll get rid of it permanently. Just leave it on the ground. You can actually leave more than one item at a time, but you have to drop them all separately. Like, you can't just select 5 smooth and silky stones and drop them.
Smooth. Yeah! Silky smooth!
Alright, they seem to be pleased with my offering, so you go ahead and pick it up, and I got an amber herb.
Give us smooth!
Yeah, shut up. It's actually randomized what you get when you trade with them. It's kind of like a lottery where there's no way that I'm aware of to have better odds at getting an item. Well, I guess big smooth and silky stones, or just normal smooth and silky stones, versus small smooth and silky stones, have a higher chance to drop the rare items from their table. And the petrified something, which there's a few of them you can get in-game, or you could have chosen one as a starting gift, has an even higher chance to give you a rare item. The reason I'm coming in here is I want to talk to Millibeth. Now that I have killed the ogres, she will have stuff to say to me.
You have proven yourself to the forest. We have little to offer, except perhaps these.
I like how everyone in this game tells you to have these, and then they give you one
May
thing.
they bring fortune to your journey, in some small way.
Alright, got the Handmaiden's Ladle, which can be used as a weapon, but it's pretty sad in damage output. That sums up everything I had to do in Things Betwixt, so the next place we're going to go to is Majula. Here we are in Majula, and what we're doing first in Majula is there is an NPC that I completely forgot to talk to in my Talking to All the NPCs episode, so we're gonna go talk to him. He is up here, kind of towards where you originally came from, but it's off into this way cut into the rocks with the roots spilling out from around it. Eventually this heads over towards the area called the Shaded Wood, but we can't access that just yet. I always get confused here about which archway. I know it's the last one, but I always try to go through the second to last one. Oh well. So if you can see the blue sword off in the distance there, this is the guy that we walked over here to talk to. This is Benhart of Jugo.
Business with me. The way yonder is all blocked up, you see, by this god-awful statue. Heavens above. Who thought it a good idea to put it there? Oof, I'm in quite the pickle now. See that statue? Gives me the willies. You stare at it for long enough, it starts to look alive. It just doesn't seem quite right. There are no craftsmen round these parts. Hey, you don't think a real live person was turned to stone, do you? See that statue? Gives me the willies. You stare at it for long. Hey.
So here sits Benhart of Jugo in quite a pickle. I can think of a certain knight of Katarina that he would get along with quite well. Alright, now that that's taken care of, here we are back at Majula. And there's a few things that I wanted to do here. First and foremost, I want to go check out the mansion. We got the key from Kale the cartographer earlier. And now let's go check out what's inside. Alright, we used the house key. Thank you again from Kale. And you guys can see my face? I didn't see my face yet. I'll notice it in a minute. Oh man. I was just completely oblivious. I was too distracted by the giant book. I wish that the texture on this book was higher so that you could read what it actually says, but it's not. So there's an item back around the corner here, which is a Pharaoh's Lockstone, and here is where I notice my face. What is wrong with my face? In my original commentary, I just was freaking out. I was like, what is going on? Something glitched out with my tattoo. Okay, I'm over it. Nope, I'm not over it. I have to go back and look at it again because it's so making me so unhappy. I spent a long time making that face just the way I like it, and now it's just blacked out. Fortunately, that does get resolved the next time I fast travel, but I was pretty upset initially. Alright, so heading down into the basement. Maybe. Nope, I decided to go upstairs first. Forget I said that. Going upstairs, there is not a ton of stuff up here. I'm actually not... The reason I'm moving around so slowly is I'm still freaking out about my face. I just don't even know where to go. There's a chest in here with a Titanite shard and a torch. Actually, 3 Titanite shards and a torch in it. 3 torches in it. Out here you can come out onto the balcony. You could drop down. That's where the demon pigs are over there. Screw those guys. Yep. The demon pigs actually do have a chance to drop red eye orbs, so if you're wanting to do some invasions without going through all the hassle it takes to get red eye orbs, that's a place you can farm a little bit. I think the 15 limit respawn applies to them, so it only works for a little bit. Anyways, here we are in the basement. As you can see, there are bloodstains all over the place. And Kale was nice enough to warn us about the monster in his basement, so with all the bloodstains and the warning from Kale, there's obviously something terrible here. But this right here is the map carved into stone that Kale believes is of Drang Lake, and he is correct. That flame there is important, but I'm going to talk about it later. Right now I'm looking at all the bloodstains, and it's time to go deal with this monster in Kale's basement. Maybe. Come on, Shade. Come on. Let's go. Deal with this terrible, horrible creature. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, it's just a skeleton. I don't know why, but especially on PlayStation, everybody seems to die to the skeleton. There were just bloodstains covering the entire floor. And I actually almost got killed there. I was gonna make a big deal and brag about how it was no big deal whatsoever, and then I almost died, so I can't really say anything. The skeleton down here has a guaranteed drop on a human effigy, so that is one place you can get a human effigy for your playthrough, if you're really desperate. Okay, a couple of cool things down here. First off, there's this item, which is an Estus Flask shard, which always need more shards. My face! Always need more shards. Alright, the second thing that's interesting down here is this chest in here. This chest in here is different looking than any other chest I'm aware of in the game, and the reason for that is it has not a unique item in it, but it is the first place we get this item, and it's an important item. In here we have the first soul vessel we have access to. The soul vessel is the item that lets you respec your character, which looks like I'm gonna go look at the description on that. Maybe. Maybe. There we go. A vessel that will accept your souls. It can allow reallocation of levels, but without proper assistance it may simply drain you of your souls. If you truly wish to start again, go to the place where your journey began. That is giving you the hint that you need to go talk to the firekeepers and things betwixt if you want to respec. Okay, one last thing I want to talk about in here is this shattered piece of something on the ground here. I'm going to equip my binoculars so we can get a better look. Alright, this broken thing on the ground looks an awful lot like the Lord Vessel from Dark Souls 1, and there is another player ruining my moment. But yeah, the design on these shards of pottery, or whatever the Lord Vessel is made of, or whatever this is made of, if it's not the Lord Vessel, looks a lot like the Lord Vessel, which I don't know if that was just the game developers were using assets, but that doesn't really seem like a thing FromSoft would do. So yeah, I don't know if this is the original Lord Vessel, and if it is, what in the world is it doing in the basement of a house in Majula? I guess there could have been more than one Lord Vessel, and that's where one of them ended up. I don't think there was anything that ever said it was a unique item. But yeah, kind of interesting tie into the first game. Alright, let's see if I can find my way out of the mansion, and hopefully the demon pigs aren't waiting to ambush me outside the door. They do that sometimes. Okay, and we're good. Awesome. Alright, moving right along. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be really indecisive here for a moment. I couldn't make up my mind. I was just so disorganized when I recorded this. I don't know what my deal was. Stressed out about my face. Anyway, I was thinking I should level up because I did a bunch of co-op before I came over here, so I have a large amount of souls just sitting in my inventory, and that is a great way to announce to Dark Souls that you want to die. So I decided before I'm going to level up, I want to come spend some souls on the blacksmith.
Stand back. This is dangerous work. The name's Lenigrast. Just a simple blacksmith. And you are... another useless traveler. A man ought to labor with his feet planted firmly in the earth. Not roam around like you flirtatious vagabonds. Oh, what does it matter? Go on, show me what you've got. Your equipment. Let me have a look. But do it quick.
Alright, Mr. Grumpy Pants, let's see what you have for sale. He's got a nice assortment of weapons and some Titanite shards and repair powder. I actually was considering for a moment buying a scimitar or something because I usually like to switch to a dex weapon pretty early on, and you can't get a katana until quite a bit later in the game. Like, I don't know why they made you wait so long to be able to get a katana, but it doesn't matter. I decided that I wanted to upgrade the weapon I've been using in my co-op adventures, which is the fire longsword, and the reason I'm going with the fire longsword is not necessarily the fire infuse on it, although that's nice. It's because I like the moveset on the longsword better than the broadsword, so I'm gonna use that for a little while. I was actually considering upgrading one of the shields, but I decided against it because most of the time I don't use a shield. It's just not very often that I'm using a shield. I do like the parry shields, but in PvP I don't use them very often because if you're using a parry shield, your opponent is expecting you to parry them, and it kind of reduces your chances of having that work.
Is that a shard you found? Here, let me see it, so that I may help you. To see light, to see hope, however faint it might be.
Alright, giving the Herald my Estus Flask shard so I can have more flasks is always high on my priority list. And now I'm going to go ahead and level up. I realize I never talked about what the different stats do in this game, so really quickly I'm going to give a really simple fast rundown on this. Vigor is health, endurance is stamina, vitality is equip load, attunement is how many spells you can cast, strength is for strength weapons, dex is for dex weapons, adaptability is agility and resistance, intelligence is spellcasting, and faith is miracles. Oh, okay, got through all the stats before I closed out the window. Awesome. So I'm just upgrading dexterity, endurance, and adaptability, which are the main stats I put points into. Alright, now that that's taken care of, there's a couple of things that I want to buy around Majula. And I have so many souls from doing co-op, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. First person I'm coming over to talk to is Shalqua. Shalqua has a couple of rings that I would like to have in my possession.
Who are you again? No, I'm not serious. You do have a rather pleasant scent. The type I'm quite fond of.
Shalqua can't recognize me with my face all painted black. Gosh, my face! Okay, I'm buying the red eye ring for co-op. And the Ring of Whispers, which is not useful for a while, but eventually I'm going to want it, so might as well pick it up. The reason I use the red eye ring in co-op, I'm not sure if I already talked about this,
I'll be around if you ever come
is
back.
that it makes you easier to be detected by enemies, so enemies are more likely to aggro on you instead of the host, which is a good way to protect the host. Over here we have Malentia, who has moved back to Majula.
Oh, you again? Go on. It's on the cheap for you.
Oh, thank you, Malentia. I love Malentia. She sells throwing knives, and I love throwing knives. Let's see what else she has to say.
Everyone's so stingy around here. Everyone's so stingy everywhere. You're my only customer. Don't make me beg. Now buy something.
It's a hard life for a merchant hag. Alright, let's see what she has for sale. Mostly the same stuff. She does now have unlimited life gems and throwing knives. I don't know if she had those before, but she does now. These are actually the throwing knives I ended up using against the ogres and things betwixt. Like I said, flips out of order.
We call this place Majula. Not too special if you ask me. It's just the place where everyone seems to end up.
Okay. I think that's all she has to say for now. If you spend enough souls
So,
on Melentia, she will actually have a gift to give you, but I haven't met that criteria yet, so we'll have to come back later. My face! Not over it, guys. Still not over it. Alright, done in Majula, and now here we are back in the Forest of Fallen Giants, in the Cardinal Tower. And I'm going to take out the firebomb guy with throwing knives, because I hate that guy. I've, in the past, actually taken the time to kill him enough times that he no longer respawns, because he just annoys me that much. Alright. Oh, I just am not on my parry game today. And the Spear Hollow thinks he wants to join the party. Oh well. You'd think I would stop getting into the situation, but this happens to me a lot, it seems. Alright. Those guys are dead. I'm gonna take out the Sword Hollow over here with a backstab. Lots of summon signs. And now I'm thinking I'm gonna go up this ladder finally, but suddenly I remembered a certain chest that I skipped out of frustration and never got, and I'm suddenly realizing that I need to go get that, so there we go, got that parry. We're gonna head back over and grab that chest. Okay, down the little ladder so we don't take any fall damage. And over this way. Not gonna aggro the Turtle Knight. Old Ironclad is the official name on the Turtle Knights, by the way. Okay, took out the Spear Hollow with my new upgraded sword. It doesn't take as many hits as it once did. Back up this ladder we go. I'm having flashbacks to my deaths the other day to these stupid... Sure, because I have my bloodstain still there. Look at that. I don't think there's any souls on it, but it's there and people can see how I died, which is nice, I guess. Okay, let's do this. I don't have any throwing knives, of course, so I figure I'm just gonna go for it again. What could possibly go wrong? No, actually, I don't die this time. I handle it much better. I don't know if I've just been playing too long or what the deal was last time I was here. Got a backstab, and another backstab. Ha! Showed you guys. Revenge! Revenge! Okay. Pick up the bloodstain. It did have a couple of souls on it, I guess, and let's see what is in this chest. Was it worth all the trouble I've gone through to get here? It is a Mailbreaker and Infantry Helm. Which I will probably never use either of those, but at least I can say I got them. Okay, now that that's taken care of, the only thing I have left to do is to go up that ladder. Which, going up that ladder triggers an event, which is why I've been waiting so long, as I really want to handle that event well and show off how cool it is. So, back at the bonfire here, I'm just going to stop really quick. Took some damage fighting my least 3 favorite guys so far. And let's go trigger this event. What happens is you actually get an early encounter with the second boss of this area, which is really neat. I'm just going to pull this spear guy up here really quick. Pulling him into the bonfire room because I just don't want to take any damage. I want this to go well. I screwed it up. You guys will see. Went for the guard break there. Just didn't even want to take any risks. I messed up the event in my world pretty significantly, which we'll see in just a second here as soon as I'm done fighting these 2 hollows. Somehow I managed to pull both of them at the same time. And now I'm just getting slapped around by this halberd. Goodness. Oh, man. Come on. Come on! Okay. So here's where I made my mistake. I accidentally put down my summon sign. Crap. Well, I went ahead and canceled it, and I thought I was fast enough, so I start going up the ladder. And promptly get summoned into another world. So here I have decided to splice in some footage I captured while doing co-op the other day to show off how this event should go if you don't mess it up the way I did. So I'm just here with my buddy that I'm helping out. We've been going around killing all the monsters, and she decides to go up the ladder, and I'm like, oh yeah, bring it on! So, here we go. What happens is this bird flies in with this knight that it's bringing in. This is the second boss of this area, the Pursuer, who is this giant guy that just kind of hovers around all creepy-like. This isn't his real boss fight necessarily, this is just the early encounter. Later you get a chance to... Well, if he kills you here, he will move to his boss room. And that's where you fight him officially, you get a cutscene and everything. But if you manage to kill him here, you do not have to fight him later, and he will drop his sword, which he does not do normally. You can get the sword later by using his soul to trade for the weapon, but you get a lot cheaper version of it if you pick it up here. So yeah, I've just included this clip to show ideally how this fight would kind of go, since I messed it up in my world by getting summoned, which I assumed what would happen is when I got back to my world from the summon session, that the Pursuer just wouldn't be there. He would have moved to his boss room, it would have counted as a loss and whatever. Well, that's not exactly what happened. What actually ended up happening is I spawned back into my world right next to the Pursuer. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can salvage this. I just need to get far enough away to drink my flask and everything will be fine. And then this happened. Yep. I quit playing for the day. Oh man. This has been Shade playing Dark Souls 2. Thanks so much for watching. See all of you next time.